Alrighty. Today we are going to be going over how to beat Apocalypse in this game, as far as at least one map. As I can't figure out any other of the maps, but I can figure out this map. But before I get into it, we're going to talk about what exactly you need to get this done. So, for me personally, I like to use the Mac 10. And this thing costs about $250,000. Yeah, $250,000. And their upgrades are pretty insane. However, it's worth it because you get unlimited ammo. You don't have to spend any more money than what you've already spent on the gun and the upgrades. After you spent all that, you're done. Now this was my set when I first started beating Apocalypse, which was having the advanced combat helmet. I had the modular tactical vest. I had the modular tactical pants. And I think I had, the advanced combat gloves and the modular tactical boots. Now I'm actually starting to get into the advanced stuff. I still need to upgrade this one, but that's as far as me. Now I like to have my buddy around too, because as of recently I actually maxed out his Mac 10, in which is also a really good investment because he then does not waste any money. Beforehand, I actually had him have a Scar H, which is a pretty decent assault rifle. I mean, it gave him some kills, and he doesn't really survive that long, but his protection hasn't changed. It's the same things: Defender helmet and Dragon Skin vest and the Dragon Skin pants, Defender gloves, and the Dragon Skin boots. I haven't changed anything like that. I haven't worked on them yet. But as far as the map, let's take a look at that. So, out of all of these places to go to, I like to go to Europe, and I can't really pronounce this one, but it's basically the fourth map. Now, you people are definitely going to be needing this, but I don't always need it. I don't always need everything, but I like to buy it anyways, because in this game, once you start beating Apocalypse, you just get a ton of money. So I just purchase everything, and then start the round. Now your buddy is just gonna go all over the place and all that, because that's what he does. Move this around. Okay. That's good. So basically in the round to start, you don't have to worry about much. You really don't. And for the most part, it's basically like as if you were doing waves. Like if you just did regular campaign waves, right? Like solo campaign waves. It starts to get kind of ridiculous after a while, because that's how Apocalypse is. Once it gets to that stage, I'll show you what you need to do. And as far as like the equipment and stuff like that I was showing you before, that is not entirely always needed. You can work with a more heavier set, armor set. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. As long as you're comfortable with whatever set you're using. I like to use the tactical armor because then I can just move around like this. Because eventually, you're going to stop moving in this game once you're in the Apocalypse mode, once it gets around to the end. But with the tactical armor on, you actually can still somewhat move when you're not supposed to. Um, as you can see, these zombies are starting to kind of run around all over the place. And if your buddy gets stuck, then you might just want to go around where he's stuck so that way he can get out. If not, just leave him be where he is and let him die, and then he'll come back anyways. It's just how his programming is, I guess. But I definitely am planning on investing in the buddy because I've already started getting premium weapons for him. It's just that I don't like to upgrade them because they're so expensive. Yeah, this is basically like the early start of this run. Once it starts to say that you're going to start moving slowly and stuff like that, then you can actually start doing this little technique I'm going to show you. I'll show you right now, just that way you know what I'm talking about. So basically, this is going to be the run for the majority of this run. All right, this is what you're going to be doing for the majority of the time. You're basically going to just be sitting here, and they're probably not going to get to me in right now because there's not that many of them, and they're easy to kill. But basically, what you're going to be doing is you're going to like wait until they get close to you, and then you're going to move to the other side like this. So they get in close, move to the other side. Most of the time, they won't hit you because zombies in this game are programmed very stupid, so they just keep trying to turn around when you're turning across the floor. That's why I like the tactical armor set for this, is because you're actually able to move very quickly across. But you can work with a heavier set. You can definitely work with the heavy set. Yeah, this is going to be the majority of the run, is just doing this, because then you're not going to get hit as much. And yeah, from here from here on, you're basically just waiting. You're kind of waiting until you start slowing down, and then you'll start doing that technique. And once you start slowing down to the point where you can't move that much, you can start placing turrets down. That's why I bought everything, is because if you don't have turrets, you can at least buy temporary turrets. Don't forget about them, because they are very useful. When you actually start to not move at all and zombies start killing you, and your super soldier wears off, then you might as well use your turrets, because it will help you. Now, I have had runs where I haven't completed it all the way, and I actually end up dying early on. That, honestly, if you are planning on getting like a ton of money and ton of XP, it won't matter when exactly you die. Like, even if you complete the entire game, as far as like the apocalypse, like you get all the way to the end, there's not that much of an increase. It's like maybe 20,000, 40,000 cash, which that's still a significant amount, but compared to like doing it over and over again and you still getting around in the same spot, you're still getting close to the end, but you're not just fully there, it still gives you a ton of money. So it's not anything to worry about if you don't get to the end. Because I've tried this, I think, about, I don't know, 10 plus times, I think. And out of those 10 plus times, I've completed it around 6 or 7. So it's not every single time, but it's the majority. So yeah, we're just going to be waiting. This is the entire run until you start slowing down. And I don't know if it really matters what your rank is, besides, like, if you're, like, it kind of matters because of the fact that when you're a lower rank, you have actually a very slim chance of actually completing the entire apocalypse or apocalypse. And what I'll say is that once you get to rank like 44, 45, I think that's when you can actually start doing like apocalypse runs to actually complete the entire thing, so that way you can get like a ton of money. Because once you get the Mac 10 and you're able to afford all the upgrades and the gun itself, you're not gonna waste a single dollar after that. Like, after you afford the Mac 10, you're not gonna use any other gun really. And if you do, that's on you. If you want to waste some money on premium ammo for your other guns, that's fine. Because if it helps you consistently win, then that's fine. I have done a video before of where I was going over the packs you're able to afford, compared to buying the items in those packs individually, and it's actually better to just save up for the packs. So you might as well just save up for the packs if you're going to be buying premium anything. And this is where you can start doing this. This is the actual part of where you're going to start going basically half circles around this place. Because it's so open that these zombies won't actually get to you for the most part. I mean, they'll probably like somewhat get to you if you time it wrong, but it's not like they're gonna instantly kill you unless you go straight into the pile. And it's kind of giving me some frame drops here. It sometimes does that. And if you ever get tired of like holding your fingers around, just go up here and press the menu. You can give yourself a break, wipe your hands on your pants or something if your fingers are getting sweaty. Or you can just take a break entirely, pause the game, turn off your phone or whatever, and then come back to it later, right? Because it'll save it still. At least it does on my phone. I don't know about others, but on my phone it saves it, and it still saves it to where I left off. So you don't always have to do this like on one sitting. Yeah, this is... I'm actually surprised it hasn't already told me that I'm going to be getting slow yet. It's usually around this time, but it's fine. There's some of these runs that actually last longer, and those are the ones that I actually can't complete most of the time. But man, these piles are getting ridiculous. Alright. This is when you can start using grenades if you want. Like, you can use grenades whenever you want, really. What I suggest is not really using the holy grenades, because they're garbage. I mean, like, this is all they do, is just blinds you, and then it doesn't really kill anything. The only thing it might kill is the regular zombies, but it doesn't kill any of the red or green ones. So you're not going to really get much out of it. I'd say that the most OP grenade so far is just the regular grenades. Like, if you just throw a bunch of these, you can actually get a lot of them down. But as you saw, it did say that I'm getting slower, so this is where I'm just gonna stick to here. I'm not even gonna move away. This is an example of when I need to pause the game because my hair is getting in the way. Ugh. See, we're just going around in half circles, doing the same thing over and over. It does get kind of boring, but when you actually complete a pop loose, I promise you it's actually worth it. As you can see, if you give your buddy a Mac 10, he'll do actually around the same damage as you, because there's not really much of a difference between the damage of your gun to his, besides the 25% boost that you get as your as a skill boost, you know, as a perk. Because if you buy perks, which I have, if you get the pack, it's only 1,000. I think by itself, like individually, it's like 1,200 or something. But but once you get those perks, it makes the game a lot easier. And I'm surprised they don't give the buddy perks, because that would be insanely great. Because he just dies nonstop. You'll probably hear him just die eventually, like every other second, like what he just did right now. Because he'll be able to shoot some zombies, and then he goes straight into the pile and then just kills himself. And as you can see, he's into the pile. That's why I'm giving him protective armor, like actual heavier set armor, than the tactical armor. Because the tactical armor would just make him fly everywhere, like me, but straight into the pile, so it's not going to really help him. Oh. Sorry, I had to scratch my nose a little bit. The exosuit, which is like basically like the riot suit, the premium, heavy set. Yeah, I guess just the heavy set that's right. I don't know how to explain it, but that set would probably be best for you, buddy, because he'll just die nonstop. And since the Exos armor actually gives him like significant respawn, like in every single gear piece, then that's definitely worth it. I don't really care for my respawn since I never really die. And if I do die, then it's the end of the run. Because if I die, he dies. There's no way he's surviving after I die. Because there was one time where I died, and then I was like literally like a second away from respawning, and then he died. See, like the AI for your buddy is just idiotic, I swear. But what can you do with a game that they haven't updated in years? And he died again. It's probably going to have the kill count for like his deaths around 20, because that's usually his average is 20. So, just so you know, if you see those stats where it says the amount of deaths you've had, it's definitely not mine. It's definitely not yours if you see it for yourself, because this guy dies way too much. God, my hair keeps getting in the way. Sorry for pausing it every so often, but sometimes need to. And of course, it gives me frame drops. That's great. Ugh. Fingers are getting sweaty. My phone was heating up for some reason. Never had it heat up like this during a video before. You're gonna as you'll notice that I'm actually slowing down, because right now I'm actually going like half the speed I was. Because before I was just zooming across, but now it's like I'm starting to slowly slow down, and that's what it does to you. It kind of undermines your speed. So if you get a tactical set and it's not like the best tactical set you can get, you will probably get stuck after a while. Like, you'll most likely just get stuck. Because eventually it'll have you where you're just not even moving. Like, you can move your gun, like where you're facing to shoot, but besides that, you're literally just standing in place. As you can see, the zombies, even when they like hit me, they don't do that much damage. It's mostly because of my tactical set armor. Like, the type that I have equipped so far is actually pretty decent. If you have a lower grade of armor, you might as well like try to avoid getting hit entirely. Because if you get hit by these devastators, they will knock you out. They'll every once in a while pound the ground like they're doing right now, which will hit you regardless of what you do, unless you're like extremely far away from them. But I mean, just control the amount of hits you can get physically and not on the fucking ground. All right. Still trying to give me some frame drops here. I bet we're gonna hit the 30 mark on this video probably. So I only talked, I think, for like 4 minutes about what to do. Maybe 3. So it's been already 20 minutes. And that's usually the average time it takes for me to complete this run. But I have paused it a little bit too. I'll try to prevent myself from pausing the game. I'll just kind of deal with my hair being in the way. So I don't want to prolong this video, honestly. I just want to get straight to the point where you have like the stats on the screen. You see how to beat it and all that. I mean, for the most part, this, like, to beat Apocalypse on this map is pretty simple. Like, you don't really need to try that hard. And now you see that these zombies are actually starting to catch up to me. If you feel like they're gonna kill you, just pop one of these fire grenades, and you'll kind of have them stuck for a little bit. And try not to hit them while they're frozen, because there might be these Mamashukas, I think they're what they're called. They basically pop out more of them, and the bloaters too. And there's they pop out like worms when you kill them. You don't want to kill them while they're frozen, because then that basically unfreezes them. Because when they pop out more of themselves, they're unfrozen. And it's also that when you have the temporary boost of freezing while you're shooting, it also undermines the effect of the fire grenade, because when you shoot them and it actually lands the freeze, it makes the freeze last less. Like, less as long. And I've done runs before where I didn't even use any grenades, any turrets, nothing. Because it was so simple. It was so easy. I didn't even get to use my super soldier temporary boost, where you kind of die, but not really, because you get boosted back up. But I think this run is one of those runs that are actually tricky. So when there's a lot like this, and you're slow, it can be very tricky. Oh, it's the end, look. There's no more zombies spawning. That's great. See, if you need to use turrets, just place them like around here or something. That wasn't really a waste, because they were temporary turrets anyways. So these are the stats you get. Now, keep in mind those pluses are just basically when you have those perks where they add experience, like half more experience and half more cash. Now, the kills rate is actually around the same no matter what type of run you have. It's usually around 33,000, 34,000, 32,000. It just depends. The game will sometimes throw way too many zombies at you and then you die, but I'm lucky that this run did not do that. I hope it lets me go back to the menu. That would be very great. This game takes forever sometimes. And that's that. Like, I think that is one of the fastest ways, if you're ever planning on fully ranking up your buddy. That's a really good way to do it. Or if you're not ranked out yourself, you can do that too. It's also a great way to get tons of cash, because now I have enough to start upgrading these pants again. And there we go. And that's it. So yeah.